So hi, this is Michael Adams for Stock-Telegraph, and you might remember that earlier this year, and I guess already last year, I did 2 video interviews with Chris Taylor from Dunnedin Ventures. It's a diamond exploration company with project in Canada, and if I'm not misled, the first interview we did in December when the stock was trading around the 6-cent level, and the second one was done in February when the stock was trading at 5 cents, and just last week it reached something like 13 or 14 cents, so congratulations to everyone who bought into the deal based on our interviews. Dunnedin is trading on the TSX Venture as DVI, and it's also trading on the Frankfurt market. The WKN number is A1W3XF. And yeah, it's my pleasure to welcome back on stage Chris Taylor. He's CEO and president of Dunnedin Ventures. And Chris, you had a pretty good news release yesterday after some, let's say, quiet time. Yeah, you have been quiet for a couple of months. There has been some news releases, which we can talk about later on. But first of all, let's please talk about yesterday's news release. Please explain it in your own words and what does that mean for the company?
Okay, thanks, Michael. Nice to talk with you again. I know it's been a few months. We have been sitting waiting for lab results to come in for about 3 or 4 months now. And what we've done is engaged our advisor, Dr. Charles Fipke. He's the discoverer of the original Ekati diamond mine, which is the first big diamond discovery in Canada. We basically set him loose on our project to do the same thing that he did at Ekati, test out all the methods that he used there and see what he came up with. So we finally put out results yesterday, which shows that his methods are extremely effective at finding new sources of diamonds on our project. So as we know, we have a resource out already of about 4 million carats of diamonds at about 1 carat per ton, which is much higher than the average grade of a diamond mine globally. And we have a target for future exploration, which is essentially a legally compliant back of the envelope calculation for another 5 to 15 million carats of diamonds. So that brings our total to somewhere on the order of 10 to 20 million carats of diamonds that we already know about on the project. And to define that better, you just have to put additional drill holes into these targets. Nobody on the technical side has any doubt that we're going to be able to do that, because they've already drilled holes into these things in various areas that are just not dense enough to build the resource, but they hit the same stuff, right? So it's obvious to us that we do have potential for 10 to 20 million carats, but that's only at 2 targets on the property. Now, we have a project which is almost exactly the same size as the original Ekati claim block. And I just spent about 7 hours with Dr. Fipke on Thursday going over our results prior to releasing this stuff. And he said, Chris, this is definitely the strongest set of results that I've seen that he's worked on since the Ekati discovery. And I don't want to paraphrase paraphrase him too much or put words in his mouth, but that was the flavor of the discussion, because the quality and the quantity of the diamond-associated minerals that are coming out of the ground here is very much like those Ekati discoveries that were made 25 years ago now. So we're very excited because for the first time in our project, by using Dr. Fipke's methods, we're able to see extensions to the known diamond-bearing kimberlites that we already had, and there's now additional targets that are coming in on top of it. So if you think before, Michael, I guess the message that I'd like to convey is if we had, based on our resource and TFFE, 10 to 20 million carats of diamonds defined already, and we just found a whole pile of different targets and extensions to known targets, what does that mean for how many diamonds that there could be on the project? It's looking very, very good. So another issue that we looked at with the project when we first took it on was the diamonds were well known in the dike-based targets on the project. These are the high-grade feeders to the pipes that would have been present in the area. And we knew that there was a lot of diamonds in these things. You know, they can get crazy grades. Like we did some small-scale bulk sampling off of something called the PST target, which we released, I guess that was late last year. And we came up with a sample grade of 6.5 carats per ton. I mean, nobody sees that kind of stuff, right? So these are the sources of diamonds that would have fed, all these pipes in the area. Now, our predecessor operator in this project, they had drilled off 18 different kimberlite pipes, but they hadn't done the same techniques that Dr. Fipke uses. His techniques are able to figure out which pipe or which dike or whatever it is, which kimberlite on the project will host diamonds before you even stick a drill hole into it. So the guys that were here before, To use an expression that we use in our industry, they blew their brains out, in a sense, by spending $30 million over a huge area before they had developed the methodology to find where diamonds were going to be sourced. There's no problem on this project finding kimberlites. They're all over the place. We have over 180 kilometers of collective strike length of dikes from what we can see in the geophysics. And there's historic reports that say that in this region, there are over 300 kimberlite pipe targets, right? So 300 pipes. Now, how do you figure out which are the ones that are going to have diamonds in them? That's what we're proving now, working with Dr. Fipke's techniques. Do any of them have diamonds, and how many, right?
Okay,
so that's
let me ask you a question, or maybe I can summarize it in my own words. So by bringing Chuck Fipke on board last year, which was for a small company like yours, it was a really big step to team up with him as kind of a legend in the diamond exploration business in Canada, at least. So using his own technique, right? So this will, from all the targets you have, this will kind of prioritize the targets, and you will only have to drill the targets with the highest probability of finding diamonds based on what the technology identifies. And this, of course, saves you money.
Yeah, like that is the key point of this whole application of this technique. You find more diamonds, and you do it a hell of a lot cheaper than popping a drill hole into everything. Right. You know, the cost of if we go and test all of the targets that we have on the project, it's probably, I would imagine, about $50 to $150 per sample, right? Per till sample, complete processing cost that we're going to do. What does it cost you to drill a meter of kimberlite up there with the drill rig? Probably $300 or $400, right? So, you know, you're able to tell without deploying a rig and running helter-skelter all over this area, you're going to be able to tell which targets are actually going to be diamond bearing. And what's really interesting about these techniques, and this is what I find fascinating, is that during the original Acadie work, Chuck was able to tell what the grade of his diamond pipes were before even putting drill holes in them. And okay, you kind of have to take his word on it, but you know, we believe this, right? So he said he was able to get that within a very small margin of error, because the kind of minerals that he pulls out that he uses to find diamonds, a lot of them only grow inside of diamonds, right? Okay. So these things don't randomly occur. They have specific chemistry that's diagnostic of growing inside of diamonds. And that's what we're looking at on our project. And I know it's hard. There's all these acronyms, KIM versus DIM, KIMs versus DIMs. Well, the DIMs, these are these minerals that they've actually, you know, during mining of something like Acadie, let's use Acadie as the example. You get big diamonds that'll grow in there, and during any mining operation, you're going to break stones. You're blasting them out of the rock, right? So once in a while, you get a nice big diamond that's broken during extraction. And what Dr. Fipke would do is he would take a microprobe, and he would determine what the chemistry of the minerals are that grew only inside of diamonds. And he's done this for minerals that grow inside of little diamonds, and he's done it specifically for minerals that grow inside of really big diamonds. So one of the reasons that he got involved, and I know we've talked about this a little bit off the record before, and it's a sensitive issue. I understand that these data methods are proprietary, and obviously, you know, all these things. So, but he saw the chemistry, the same type of chemistry that he saw in 50 carat plus diamonds. These are the big ones from some of his past mining at Acadie. He saw the same chemistry on our project. Right? So you asked how we got him involved with the project when we were such a small company. It's because he specifically saw that very specific fingerprint of big diamonds on our project as well. And you notice when they did the bulk sampling on our property, they came up with a 13 carat diamond in a very small sample. Right. I think it was you know, the number of tons that they had extracted. It's pretty unprecedented to get big diamonds in such a small amount of material. So the historic results backed it up, and now all the results that we're generating off the project using these same methods is backing it up as well. So it's very exciting for us. And you had asked me before, what's the difference between the pipes and these dikes? Well, all that drilling that was done on the property before, that was just sort of I don't want to say randomly, but without a detailed review process beforehand, these drill holes were going into these kimberlite pipes. We've now tested a number of them, and we've tested them down ice where you would expect the minerals to be dispersed from them. And lo and behold, in 3 cases, based on a very small pilot program, we found diamond indicator minerals immediately down ice from what looked to be kimberlite pipes. They have the same circular geophysical signature, the same approximate size, and the same, well, basically the same geophysical response for magnetism, electromagnetism, and size and shape for the kimberlite pipes that they already drilled. But none of those old pipes were sourcing diamond indicator minerals. The new ones that we found now are definitely, there are diamond indicator minerals coming from those areas. So this is what's really exciting for us. And that's one of the key messages that we wanted to convey on the back of this news.
Okay. Now, it's really good to, besides just reading the news release, to hear you talk about it, because I really get this feeling that you are also excited about this results, which is good, right? Just so two questions to sum up. You had, I think that was like 1 or 2 months ago, you had some news on the community front around your project. Maybe give us an update there. And over maybe an outlook for the next 2-3 months. What kind of news flow, what kind of developments can the investor expect?
Okay, on both fronts, and I'll be fairly brief. Initially, when we were permitting the project, we hadn't been up there very much, and we were trying to just do everything quickly and make sure that we had the permits in place years in advance of when we would need them, right? So we put in applications to do, it would be a multi-year bulk sampling and drilling program, and we got feedback from the regulators, which we fully understand now, and we comply with this, is that we needed to go out and build a relationship with the communities first and figure out the areas that they would endorse work in, if there was any areas that we should avoid. If you'll notice politically in the Canadian Arctic recently, the Inuit have been asserting their rights to control access to the land. And that way they benefit from any sort of mineral development that occurs, but they also responsibly manage the wildlife and the other traditional aspects of their culture that they, it's not like living down in southern Canada or in Europe or whatever the case is, where you can go to the grocery store in the middle of the winter and pick up a steak or something. These people actually, they still hunt for a good portion of their diet, right? So if they see negative impacts on the local animals, they're going to definitely pay attention to that. So they need to be careful. So groups like ours, when we come into the area, we had the predecessor company up here, Sheer Minerals, when they went bankrupt trying to develop the Jericho mine, which is elsewhere, it has nothing to do with us, they left their exploration camp just sitting there out on the tundra. So over the years, that thing is degraded. There's some tarps and other debris that have flown off the camp, over the course of the winter. These people want to see that cleaned up. So we've volunteered with the local communities and the local Inuit government that we'll go in and help clean up that site when we're out doing our work on the project. We want to be good neighbors. And unfortunately for them, the experience they had before was the bad neighbor experience of leaving a mess in their backyard. When I met with these community youths, I said, I understand where you're upset. If somebody left a pile of junk in my backyard, I would be ticked off as well, right? It's very simple. People are people. It doesn't really matter where you are. So we've built a good relationship with them now. When we go out and do the field work this summer, they're going out on the land with us to show us whether there's any areas that we should avoid, or whatever the concerns that they have, we will integrate them into the work programs. And that's how we be a responsible partner for them, right? So just to address your other questions, well, does that answer everything, Michael, on that side?
The community, I think so, yeah. And as I know, I've dealt with a lot of Canadian companies, and a lot of them, they don't take as much care as you just laid out, on the community, and this gets them into trouble, right? And so this is, I think, a legitimate question from all the investors. Do you work together with them? Are there any hurdles? What do you need to do to get them on your side? Just to make sure that you at least check this part, right? Exploration is a risky business anyway, but there's things that you kind of can control, and this is, as you said, you can talk to these people, you can approach them, you can offer that your help, so that you can hopefully check that off, right? So okay. So just what kind of news flow will come out of the company, or might come out of the company over the next little while?
Well, after we have, we're mobilizing field crews in the next couple of weeks here. We're permitted up to 2018 to do this wide-scale sampling like we did last year and like we're planning to do this year. So we can do like bulk sampling by hand of these kimberlite targets. We can do the till work that we really need to do to figure out how many diamond sources and where they are on the project. And we're resubmitting our application to NERB, integrating all the comments that they gave us. And it's like checking off boxes. They said consult with the local populations. We've consulted with the local populations and integrate their feedback into your work plan. So our application for a permit that would be valid for 3 years from say 2018 to 2021, that'll be resubmitted here, I'd say within the next few weeks after we go out and meet with some of the local community members and accept their guidance on the project. So that'll be done and we'll announce when that's complete. But in the meantime, we'll talk about it a little bit more in the near future, maybe, Michael. But post putting that news release out, we've had a lot of interest from some pretty serious diamond affiliated parties come towards the company. So right now we need to work on publishing the remainder of our results from last year's work. There still are results that are pending from the lab, but those are going to be coming in over the next say 3 to 6 weeks. And we'll be coming to some announcements regarding some of this new interest that has come into the company on the heels of the results from yesterday. So, I mean, watch the company for those reasons. Additional technical results from the project. For instance, we've been recovering diamonds from the second notch sample. So the other day, I noticed the diamond results went into our technical advisory team and our exploration manager, and they're processing them right now. So we should have new diamond results that are going to be issued to the market very shortly. And then we're going to have announcements around some additional interest that's come in recently on the heels of those results, as well as our additional permitting progress. So this is the kind of thing that people should be paying attention to, and I would watch the company. I imagine a number of these items are going to be public or completed within the next say 6 week span. So I'm certainly look for more news during August and into September.
Okay, so sounds that you will be pretty busy, that you will not have a chance to enjoy the Vancouver summer, which is good for your shareholders, I guess. And I would just think that whenever you come with the next outstanding news release, that we will just do a quick video interview again. And I will definitely come and drop by your office in January, and I keep fingers crossed that you will be able to show me some bigger diamonds. Last time you had the small ones. I wanted to see one of these 10+ carats ones.
Yeah, so do I.
So that's it for now. Thank you very much for giving us your insight and your own view on the news release. I think it was very, very interesting, especially for my subscribers, my viewers that might not be too familiar with the diamond exploration business, to get a little bit more understanding. Also what you said about the Kims and Dims. So that we learned a lot. And it's if you want to invest, you have to understand what you invest in, right? So the more you learn about a company, about the business, so the higher the probability is that you will get rewarded in the share price. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you, Michael. I'll talk to you again soon.